here, basically, you have the agenda for today's presentation and talk. So we will start with AUD in France, telling about the Two Voices tours and their project. I heard a little bit about it when we were in France and got really, really inspired. So we're really happy to yeah, that you could take part of this presentation and talk and share this project together with other partners. And so we allocate a half an hour and also questions and reflections connected to that. And then we move on with a case from Lysekil about pride in a place and also connected to storytelling. But Clementine, I think you prefer to share your screen yourself. So you
Yeah,
can just
I can share it.
take over. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So do you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see your
Yeah.
screen.
Okay. So hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about an initiative that the agency has been running for several years in its area of intervention, which seems to be a good example of a partnership approach within the context of the SIRR project. So since 2021, the agency has been organizing Two Voices visits. So why are they called Two Voices visits? These visits are guided tours for groups on different thematics that allow visitors to discover the area, led by two professionals who are specialists in different fields. And as we will see in the presentation, the thematics, the itineraries, the means of transport, and professions of the guides can be arranged differently for each visit. That can offer a lot of possibilities. Maybe. Okay. So what are the ambitions, objective of these Two Voices tours compared to traditional single voice guided tours? They can reinforce a multi-helix approach by bringing together various stakeholders and create new links for the agency and the territory. They also promote the agency members' areas of expertise, for example, urban planning, environment and landscaping, heritage and architecture, energies and mobilities, economy, demography, and also for visitors, they energize and experiment new types of visits by combining two complementary perspectives on the region to promote the surroundings. And it goes with the philosophy of the agency, which is to work in synergy with its member and partners for the territorial development. It creates a space for dialogue, information, participation of the inhabitants, and it encourages citizens to better understand the past in order to act today and get involved for tomorrow. So now I'm going to show you 5 examples of these Two Voices tours that have been conducted since 2021. The first example is an organized walking tour in the suburbs of Saint-Omer. It included a visit to a church, then followed by a tour of the town's landscaping project. The goal is to highlight the renovation of the church and the creation of a new urban space, explaining this project to visitors and helping them to discover them. So it's an opportunity to revisit the history of the suburbs and the construction of the church in this context. So the topics are history, architecture, urban development, and also landscaping. To this end, a tour guide leads the first part of the tour, commenting on the exterior and the interior of the church, and then a landscape architect from the agency takes over and presents the landscape design to visitors, explaining the context of the project, its challenges, and its execution. Another example is an organized tour of the historic center of Saint-Omer with 3 speakers from different professions. The tour is also on foot, starting at the castlement of Saint-Omer, where is the place where the town was founded in the 7th century. And then it continues in front of the cathedral, built between the 12th and the 16th century. And then it ends at the public garden, laid out at the end of the 19th century. So here, the focus of the tour is to discover the various animal species that live in the city. And at each point of interest, a guide from the agency provides historical context of the creation of the monument or the landscaped area. And then it is followed by a presentation from a specialist. For example, here we have a bee speaker who was in a beekeeper, who was invited to present his hives installed at the castlement, and then introducing visitors to honey harvesting and the process of honey production by bees of the city. And then a member of the League of the Protection of Birds spoke about the vultures that nest in the recesses of the cathedral arches. And then finally, in the public garden, she talked about the bats that take refuge in the niches of the historic fortifications that we call the Vauban fortification. So here we can see the 3 places visited by the group. There are 3 different periods represented, providing a broader view of the history of Saint-Omer, and then it's an opportunity to comment on different architectural styles and discover the rich fauna that we can find in these historic buildings. So it's quite an educational tour on different aspects. Next, I can present another type of guided tour, which has a distinctive feature of being conducted on bicycles. Here, the thematics of the tour is water, which is very present in the city of Saint-Omer, as it has shaped the urban development of the city and continues now to be an important issue to consider in our work at the agency studies to shape the future development projects. So the tour was led by 2 agency team members, an historian who explained the origin of the canal, the hydrographic context of the town, and how water have been managed in Saint-Omer for centuries. He stopped the group at key points along the way at log gates and bridge. And the second speaker was a climate and energy expert from the agency. He provided a more up-to-date perspective, focusing on the resilience of rural areas in the face of water-related challenges. He discussed the impact of climate change on future urban development, and particularly in terms of mobility. So this was an opportunity to present projects that encourage sustainable transport in Saint-Omer, such as the creation of cycle paths along the canal that we can see here. Traveling by bicycle made particular sense in this context, as it allowed visitors to explore new cycle paths and encourage them to cycle daily in the city. So here we can see the stopping points, sometimes on bridges or at the edge of the cycle path, and the explanation provided by the staff using maps and books to combine understanding to the past the present and the future challenge for the area. Then here we have another type of visit conducted in 2023. This visit is interesting because it's a construction site tour led by a heritage architect who works at the agency and the architect who designed the building. So the building in question is the Maison Ribot, which has been renovated to become the agency heritage house. And now it's an exhibition space dedicated to the geography, history, and urban development of Saint-Omer and its rural region. And it was once the home of Alexandre Ribot, who was an important figure born in Saint-Omer and who left his mark on French history more generally. The heritage architect was tasked with recounting the history of the site in the context of the development of the town, looking back at the story of Alexandre Ribot, who lived in the house, and presenting the origin of the Heritage House project as a new facility for the agency and the town, as a resource to share knowledge with the general public. And on the other side, the project manager was able to address technical and architectural issues, explaining how the building's renovation was designed and what materials were used. So the challenge of the construction site was to transform a residential building into a public facility with exhibition rooms, a large and monumental wooden staircase, and a conference and meeting room under the roof, where we now hold the agency's team meeting, for example. For visitors, it was an opportunity to discover the history of the place and its heritage value, to discover a new facility for the city, and to learn about local construction techniques and the renovation process, bringing together the different stakeholders. And finally, as a last example, I will present a tour that allows participants to experience another means of transport, which is a traditional boat of Saint-Omer that we call a bacove. Then the theme of the tour focuses on discovering the heritage of the marshes and the suburbs of Saint-Omer. And part of the tour takes place first on foot, with a professional guide in the suburbs of the city, discussing historical aspects, the city's relationships with the marshes, and the agricultural production of the marshes, which are the last remaining agricultural marshes in France and are listed at the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And then after an hour-long walking tour, the visitors are invited to discover the factory where traditional boats, marsh boats, are built, thanks to a boat builder who explained the ancestral manufacturing techniques. And after that, visitors then embark on a tour around the marshes by bacove, during which they learn about the flora and the fauna of the marshes and their relationship with the surrounding suburbs. So in this way, they can discover historical, environmental, ecological, and also handcrafts aspects of the march heritage, exploring the area in two different ways. And yeah, these tours are an opportunity to showcase the craftsmanship of the boat builders, who are a real resource for the area and an important partner for the economic development of the pays of Saint-Omer. So we have seen several examples of two voices tours, and there are others that involve other professions and thematics. And let's us return to the general aspects of this project. These tours are mainly organized during the European Heritage Days in September or in May, which is a national month dedicated to cycling. And also when new architectural, landscaping, or urban projects are to be highlighted, or also there is some requests for groups on specific thematics. An average of 2 to 4 tours have been organized each year for the past 5 years, and they are free to participate just on registration on the website, and are quite appreciated from inhabitants and tourists because they are full every time. So we have seen that various means of transport are used, walking, by bike, by boat, but maybe other tours can be organized too, because today the agency already organized single voice tours by pony, by bus, or we can also think about the train, the historical train of the region. And it's an opportunity to highlight historians, landscape architects, ecologists, mediators from the agency, tour guides, also associations, engineers, artists. But it's also quite open, and we can think about new professions, like technical professions, to integrate these tours, like tailors, carpenters, or technicians. And they are support for new ideas for the future, and a real opportunity to comfort the multi-helix approach of the development of the region. And maybe more generally, this project is part of the agency's action without dividing into 3 main areas, and the dual voice tours are part of the gated involved actions in the region. That it's to say that the agency is a space for dialogue and sharing, aiming to pass on a culture of development and town planning by involving its partners and its inhabitants. And then maybe to go further, thematic tours are available and can be downloaded from the agency website to share them. And they are a real tool for sharing knowledge and a way of promoting the agency studies to the residents, the elected representatives, and the partners beyond the two voices tours. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very, very much, Clementine. It's super interesting. I get like so inspired, really. I have some thoughts and maybe questions as well. But before that, are there any questions to Clementine in this group? Please raise your hand. Anna.
Yeah, well, so first of all, thank you very much for this very beautiful presentation. I like that a lot. So my question is actually rather simple. So, or maybe not, I don't know. Where did this inspiration come from in the first place? So what led you to do this concept of guided tours? I mean, was it something that you saw someplace else and tried to copy it, or is it like an original idea that developed over a long period of time? I would love to hear something about the background to that.
Yeah, in fact, the origins of the project comes from a colleague that worked at the agency for several years, and who is in charge of the visit historical visit tours at the agency, and it comes during the COVID period.
Okay.
I think, where after 2021 there was a new project coming and maybe new inspiration, and she told me that yeah, she had the idea to join two professions to make visits more interactive and to gather more partners simply. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Thank you.
Thanks. Caroline?
I'm a little bit curious about the the guides and the architects and whoever will, tell about various things. Are they volunteers, or are they paid for their work? I don't know if you mentioned it.
I didn't mention it, but yeah, they're paid for this, and the agency has also some mediator works for the agency on our salaries of the agency, and can be called for these tour visits for historical aspects. But I don't know the details of the each visit. Maybe, for example, in the case of the project manager architect, for him it's a very good opportunity to promote his work, and I don't really know how it has been conducted for these visits, but maybe it depends if it's an internal partner or an external partner.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. And we have Kenneth and Filippa.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Clementine. It was a wonderful presentation. We enjoyed it a lot. We were sitting here and nodding to each other. So, so it's very inspirational also in relation to our work. And of course, with storytelling, the past is very important. Yeah, I was just going to compliment you and your work. Some of the things that we presented in Norway and in our own conference here in Malmö was actually very much related to your presentation, because we talked a lot about this love of the place, as we call it. But we also talked about being grateful to the dead as another kind of a frame of particular stories. So love of place was one frame of particular stories, and the love of the dead, or being grateful to the dead. You had this character that you visited in the house, which I thought was kind of corresponded very much to this, going back to that you were kind of talking to certain characters from the past, which has been important for the place, and trying to kind of follow their advice if you follow this imagination in this. And then a third frame that we work with this about living well, but we dramatized it a little bit. So we call it Let My People Go Cycling. So we had the bicycle tours, which corresponded very much to these ideas about having this whole life in this respect. So in that sense, your presentation corresponded very much with some of the things that we have been trying to develop theoretically. So it gives a lot of food for inspiration about the writing process afterwards. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Reflections? And Michael?
Maybe just a comment. First of all, I think it's very interesting, and I think I've said many times that I'm always fascinated how easily in France you are still able to integrate culture and art and so many aspects in the work you do. It comes much more naturally in France. It must be something about another level of civilization for us in the Nordic countries. We often see culture and art as an add-on or something we do to entertain tourists. You use it so specifically for building community, and I think that's the other part of it. As some of you already know, Læsø and we are part of another project in the Baltic Sea area focusing on regenerative tourism. And I see you are very close to getting into the next steps, not just using tourism to extract resources, but also give back resources to have stewardship for cultural heritage, and many of these aspects are very close to you. Biodiversity, how to protect the marshes, and have also the tourists or the participants taking part of this in the process, actually also engaging them in what is going on. So a lot of inspiration to take from this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Helena?
It was a really nice presentation and good ideas. And I was wondering about the funding that was you already talked a little bit about, but also it said in the last one I noticed it said 2 hours for both the walk and visit to the building of the boats and going on the boat. And so was it really just 2 hours for all these 3 things? Or
Sorry.
can you manage to do all these things in just 2 hours?
Yeah, I think it's beginning with a walking tour, but just around the fabric of the boats to explain the history, and then in fact there are 2 groups that are visiting in the same time, and then exchanges. They exchange, and so 20 people can visit at the same time by boat or by walking with 2 different guides, and one guide do twice the visit in 2 hours.
Good efficiency. But the other ones, I didn't notice. Did you have the set times on them too? I just noticed it on the last one because I was wondering earlier in the presentation when you were talking about visiting several historic places. I wonder if this is a half-day tour or something, but are they generally just 2 hours or?
Yeah, it can be 1 hour, 1.5 hours or 2 hours generally. And in fact, even when there were 3 monuments to visit, it's not long to walk until each monument. It's like 10 minutes in the city.
Okay.
Thanks. And
Thank you.
Kenneth and Filippa.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was very interested in that. It seems like you managed to both tourists and inhabitants on those guided tours. Is it kind of equally tourists and inhabitants meeting on those tours of yours?
I don't really know the percentage of each, but because it's organized during the European Heritage Days, there are more tourists than in the visits that are organized during all the year. Sometimes there are a lot of tourists coming from the region and France, and sometimes tourists coming from other countries like Spain or Belgium, but it's less frequent. But these days are quite known, but usually during the year it's more only inhabitants of the region.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Alistair.
One last quick one, maybe. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Clementine. It's maybe difficult for you to to answer because it's maybe something that the guides experience, but do you have notice of any effects of the guides, like in terms of the community building and the image? And we know where it comes from, but what is coming out of it? Do you have any ideas of what is? I don't know. Did some citizens think, "Oh, I love this. I'm going to build up my grandpa's boat parking lot and promote the culture"? I don't know. It's what kind of effects can?
I didn't experience it, but I suppose that, for example, for the boat builder, it's an organization that organize also individual visits for visitors without the historical aspect. So I think that maybe people can talk about it and spread it, the idea to other people, other inhabitants and partners, maybe. Maybe for the project manager, for example, the architect, it's a good way for him to get known and maybe impact people for other projects. And I think about the protection of birds too. Maybe it's a way to attract citizens to be interested in what they do and maybe other events of the organization. Yeah, it's a supposition, but I think it's a good way to promote their activities. So.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm afraid we have to stop with questions now and move on. But thank you very, very much, Clementine, for your presentation. Really, really fascinating, and I'm pretty sure it inspired many people here in the group. At least it inspired me a lot. And I also have some questions, but we will leave that for another time. So thank you a lot for sharing. Really well done. But now we move on with the next presentation, and it's Lysekil. I think it's Theresia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll just share the presentation first. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, but we see it in like the presentation mode, so we can see the next slide as well.
Okay, how do I do that? This thing.
If you take duplicate, maybe that could be.
I'll duplicate it.
Or change. There, now we can see it.
Perfect. Well, this is Lysekil. I just thought I'd give you a picture. If I guess you're not too familiar with the place, and we are working with pride. People feeling proud of their place. That's what we have been doing a lot this autumn. But I'll give you some examples from other things that we've done. So just see it as a smorgasbord, as we say. So the project what we want to do in the SIRR project is to, of course, build a stronger, more vibrant and attractive rural community, as we all want to. And we have specialized in creating more dialogues. We need to create more trust for the municipality. So we are doing that through increasing the dialogue and strengthen the pride. And we have narrowed it down to 3 different areas where we getting muted, or is it just my computer? Can you hear me?
We hear you, yeah.
Hear you.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's just muted on the, microphone. Oh, that's good.
I think you were muted for a second. It switched like 2 or 3 times.
So strange.
But we could hear you, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see if it happens again. So the first area we've been working with is to become closer to the different departments in the municipality, because that's sort of the foundation for building the trust and creating the dialogues. So some of the things we've done regarding this is at the left corner, upper left corner, you see 3 of our co-workers from different departments, and we have done some walk and talks with them. So they have had different assignments. So the assignments this day was we have a lot of cruising ships coming into town. So the assignments was to walk the same way as the passengers do when they come from the ship and go into town, and come up with, because it's quite boring this way. So come up with some ideas on how to make it a more pleasant walk coming into town. So we try to both have something useful coming out of this, and making people meet each other, start talking about things. And cruising ships is a topic that is a bit, some people like it, some people don't. So it was also a good thing to make them think about the cruising ships. And then on the right upper picture, we went to a conference together, also people from very different departments, that was about developing the center of our little town. And also really good to just hang out with people, talk about things, talk about development. And then at the bottom right corner, we arranged just a gathering for anyone working in the municipality to come to and clean the shores, from litter that comes from the ocean. Just a simple thing, and just making people start to talk with each other. And then with the frame picture, we had we try to not make it too serious. Sometimes you just have to have some fun with the people around you. So we made a competition just to take a picture of something that is significant for the town. So this chair is a thing that we have in our city park. They're just simple things to create some more co-working between the departments. Then the second area we're working.
No, something happened to this, yeah.
No. Yeah. She kind of disappeared.
Something with a connection, maybe.
Yeah, let's see if she will come back, or if Elizabeth could continue.
I can continue, but we can see first if she comes
Yeah,
back. Yeah, I think she has a plan with this, but I can continue. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think she had problem maybe before with her Wi-Fi or something.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Let's see, I will try to.
Yeah, maybe I can start up and let's see when she joins us again. But the second part of this Pride of the Place is that we have been developing meeting arenas. For example, like this, we have developed forums and meeting places. This is about the future of housing. Maybe she's here with us again, Theresia. Will you continue?
Yeah, I was thrown out of the meeting.
Yeah. We saw your words. You can continue. It's better. You have a plan. Yeah.
I just continue sharing. No, am I sharing something?
Yes.
Do you see the presentation now?
Yeah,
it's duplicated as well.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, let's see how far it goes this time. So the second area we're working with is to develop new ways to meet the people living here, develop new forums and new meeting places. So that's something that we worked with a lot of last spring. So we went to all the 3 different large places in the municipality, having workshops where we wanted people to start helping us think about the future. So this workshop was about how the future housing. How do people want to live in the municipality? What areas do they want us to build houses? What sort of houses? Just to gather all the good ideas that we know is somewhere in the municipality. And I don't know if it works. This is a short movie just of one of the places. So the exhibition was really interactive. They could, in the first room, they learned about housing, how the municipality works with the housing, about different regulations, and then on the second station they could put dots like voting on different things, and then in the third area there was just a large map, and everyone could. I think I have a picture of it somewhere. No. Yeah, you see the map on the right, on the left. So people got into really good discussions and making notes and, this is a good area. And do you know about this? And really good discussions and we have had a lot of people from the municipality working with these questions. Yeah, and then the third area that we've been working with mostly this autumn is about creating pride in our place, and this is where the storytelling comes. So it was a really good workshop we had in Denmark that inspired us a lot when we were planning this, and we also, this is Regina. She some of you met her in Denmark. She's among very many other things, but she's a tour guide working in Lysekil. And we asked her if she wanted to come along on this workshop in Denmark. And it's developed into a really, really nice partnership with her. So when we planned this Pride for the place, we asked her if she could be, hold it all together. So what we started with was making a survey that we published before the summertime, because in the summertime we have loads and loads of tourists. So we wanted it to be open to everyone visiting Lysekil. So we had it on our website, we had it on the physical, on different posters. Regina, she went to the schools and inspired all the pupils in the schools to answer the survey. So it was a very good way to get a large foundation where people could express what they thought about Lysekil. How do they want to develop it? How do they think about the place where they live? What are they proud of today? And then in the second step, we had 5 different workshops, and most of them were open to everyone. and one of them we had especially for companies or for businesses. So this is from the workshops, and we also had marketing company, especially in brands, that helped us to create the workshops, to come with the ideas. You can do this, or this is a good question. Or you can. They really helped us a lot. So we had about 100 people coming to the different workshops, which is really good. And a lot of good ideas on, not only, we didn't just want to have the positive things about Lysekil, we also wanted them to express what are they worried about? What things do they see that maybe people coming here to visit don't see? So it was a lot of good angles on being proud of their place. And we had 4 different exercises. So one of the exercises was we put these questions on large papers around the room, and we divided them into different groups, and then they went from one question to the other, and they had to read first what everyone else had written, and then if they missed something they could add it. So they also learned about what everyone else in the room thought about the question, and then they started to think, okay, is there something that I don't agree about? Is there something I like to add? So it was a good process. And then one of the another exercise was to think about Lysekil as a person. So they could write something, or they could make a picture of it like this. This is an old fisherwoman. Also, it's a way of answering the same question, but in different ways. And Regina also went and had special dialogues with children, just to get their point of view, the younger children. So this is an exercise where they put a dot on where they live on the map, and then they write something about what they like about the place where they live. So this is how it looked like when it was ready. And now we've just started the next step in this process. And after gathering all this data, now it's time to process it. And somehow what we aim for is to have some kind of place brand light, we say, because it's not going to be a really, strategical document, but we want, what we hear from the businesses here is that we are really proud of having a business in Lysekil, but we don't know how to show it. We need your help to get the tools how to be proud of Lysekil in the same way, so we can really have one voice. So that's the aim of all this project. And this is when Regina went to one of our schools with the survey. And now this is the next phase. And now we have a smaller group. We are about 10, 12 people that are going to work for like 3 months with all this data together with this marketing company, that the experts. So they have processed it all. So this is the first workshop, and they made 5 different stories that all came from all the things that people have said in the surveys and in the workshops. 5 really great stories about Lysekil. And then the people in this group, they chose what parts of the stories they thought were the most accurate. Okay, this is the way that we want to to speak about Lysekil. This is how we feel about Lysekil. And now we're having a meeting on Monday, the next one. We've had homework to do, and they have narrowed it. All the stories that we made from this meeting, they have narrowed it down. So we're going to concentrate it further, the processes. And we're working with a model. I won't go into that, but we have this brand company that we work with. They have a model that is really interesting, that will give us, like, the big idea is the core of how Lysekil, how we are, and then we will have different things coming out of that, and then just during next year we will develop the place brand and start planning all the activities that we'll have that will support the story of Lysekil, the place brand. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you a lot, Theresia. Wow, there's a lot of things you have done. Also really inspiring, and it's so interesting now, like a little bit more than halfway in the project. There's like so many things happening at the local hub.
I know.
So, thank you a lot for sharing these. Amazing, really. Do we have any questions to Theresia? Anna, maybe you could stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
It's not working for me today. Yeah.
Yeah, well, first
Anna.
of all, thank you very much again for this very insightful presentation. On the photos that you have shown us from your workshops, you had a lot of old and young people in them, which I really liked. So my question to you would be, do you have any special tricks up your sleeve to make sure that your workshops and events are equally attractive to young and old people? Because this is something that is not that easily achieved, you know?
No.
Young and old people, they are attracted by different kinds of media and communication, marketing. Within the workshop, when you're working with digital tools or creative techniques, it can be somewhat tricky when you have different age groups present. So yeah, I guess that this is very much along the line of the questions that I had come up with and that I would have liked to ask you on site if I had been there. So very sorry again that I couldn't make the trip, by the way. What's your key to that, really?
Oh, I think, we had, in the workshops, we had more elderly people, I must say. So we had young people and children as well. But I think we are quite a small municipality. So I think it's about spreading the word, contacting people that you know that might be interested, and then maybe they can bring a few friends or spread the word themselves. And then we have a problem in the central parts of Lysekil, our little town. We don't get that much engagement here, and in the more rural areas, we are a rural municipality, all of us, but we have a lot of more. It's more like a small village. So it becomes, when you come and have a workshop, it's more like a village thing. Oh, something happens in our village, and you go to it. So it's much easier to get people from different ages when you come away from the city.
It's a village thing. That's a nice description. Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
Thanks. Louise?
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the presentation and great idea with the workshops. And my question is quite similar to Arne's, is when we have similar workshops, not the same topic, but workshops in general on Lesser, it's really difficult to get people to come. If we're lucky, we might have 20 people show up. So very, very concretely, how did you get people to come? Because I don't suspect maybe you did, but I don't assume you called up 100 people and asked them to come personally. So how did you? Was there food, or I don't know, a lottery,
Yeah,
or
fika.
something?
Yeah, coffee and cakes, of course. Always on all Swedish activities. I think we got a good spreading on social media, because in the villages we have strong associations, village associations, and they shared when we did marketing for these workshops. They were really helpful to share that and telling people to come. So that's one key thing, I think. And then also that there is a great interest in the question. There are a lot of people really loving this place and wanting it to become better. So I think the question was quite, and also housing is a question that people are interested in. So that makes it easier.
Good idea to contact the associations and tell, I don't know, the lead person in the association to get the rest of the associations to join. Good idea. Okay.
Yes, Filippa.
Oh, thank you very much for the presentation. We enjoyed it, and I can assure you that, of course, we appreciated the comments about the workshop in Frederikshavn, but the appreciation is mutual. So we also got a lot of inspiration from your stories, and also in Saint-Omer, by the way, of course, because they have been extremely inspirational for how to work with storytelling and how to develop the methodology further in this respect. So that was one comment. A question could be something like, because we all have this, how do we engage people in this, and how to get people to come? I think this is something that we all share somehow. How do we actually get people to come? And maybe, yeah, a supplement could be something like having tours, walking around with people, picking up the stories in their natural environment, let them tell their stories as they walk through Lysekil or Sotenes or Skagen or Saint-Omer or these places, because here they feel good and the stories come out naturally. And can it be, yeah, a few years ago I was in Vietnam, I was suddenly interviewed by children on the street. And I thought that was a quite funny thing, being interviewed by children. So, but I was thinking, okay, could you have young people, older people walking around sharing stories together in these places? Could be something that I just got this idea now. So thank you.
Really good idea.
And the last question, Carina.
I was just curious. Thank you for the presentation. I was curious, is this something that you could fund with your SIRR money, or did you just find a little?
Yeah, most of it doesn't cost much to create workshops. So most of it is really cost efficient. We have people from the municipality working, and then we have had some support of developing money in the municipality, and that goes mostly to this branding company.
Yeah. Great. I think we stop there, but thank you very much, Teresa, for your presentation. Also really inspiring, and also to see how you connect to so many different multi-helix actors to develop your place. Big thank you to both you and to Clementine. And as you know, always we upload a presentation in the event on the website in a couple of days, or maybe during the next week. So you can find it there as well as the presentation. And it was really, really nice seeing you all today as well. Maybe this is the last meeting within this group before Christmas. So wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And yeah, good work, like good job, all of you during 2025. I'm looking forward for 2026 now and see how we can scale up and continue the good work we're doing. Charlotte, you want to say, and I will stop recording. Yeah. So enjoy, this day and the weekend, and also vacation coming up.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.